Alright guys, so here we go. We are going to have a discussion about some things that have kind of gone down publicly lately. I don't usually get into all this stuff, but I just had an opinion and I kind of had to share it. And before I get too deep into it, I'm going to do a disclaimer. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is, completely innocent in any given situation. What I want to say though is we really need to respect each other. And I say that coming from a place where I've made mistakes before, and I know a lot of other people have, and there is so much judgment going on grounds where I really don't think people have to judge. That being said, I'm doing this video, so, I'm kind of a contradiction to my own words at this point, but I'm going to tell my thoughts on several things that have gone down recently. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about is obviously abuse in relationships, and I want everybody to know that it can be on so many more different levels than just physical abuse. You look at emotional, verbal abuse, physical abuse, it all ties in, and it's all abusive, and all of it eventually affects the way that we think and our mentality. It's why people do crazy things. This is getting deep for me. I have been in several abusive relationships, and I'm not saying just relationships as in romantic relationships. I have been in an abusive relationship with a boss. I have not in a relationship with him, but I have had a boss who was very abusive to me. I have had a parental figure that was extremely abusive to me. That being said, there are people that I have gone off on, and even, that I have even verbally abused myself before. And it's a very vicious cycle that just goes around and around. People who are abused tend to abuse other people, and it's not good, and it needs to be stopped. And the only way to really stop something like that is to get help, whether it's counseling, therapy, medication. People need to reach out. That being said, so many people end up on both levels. They are abused and they end up doing abuse. It's almost a way that we defend ourselves, and I don't like it. I'm not condoning it. I am saying that I have been there and I have worked to change, and you know what? It is a constant job. It is something you constantly have to work to correct. I mean, I have heard so many people call other people names. I've seen people manipulate other people. It's, the games that people play, the mental games, that's abuse too. There are a lot of things that fall under the cast of abuse, and we brush them off and we laugh at them and we think they're funny. And they're really not. Somewhere along the line, damage is getting done, and that is the same thing I'm going to say about the Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna drama. Honestly, I don't think anything like that should ever be spilt onto social media anyway. That being said, I'm still watching it, and I'm not getting enjoyment out of it, but at the same time, I'm still keeping up with it, so I don't know what to say about what that makes me. Of course I'm going to be interested in stuff like that. It's a human condition that we're watching really unfold in front of our eyes. And as it unfolds, I'm sitting here going, there is a innocent child that is involved in this. Two, I believe. I think she has another kid, not just the one with Rob Kardashian. I think that was part of what his drama was. But what he's going through, there's a mental illness there, and I'm not saying that to be mean or crude, and I'm not saying he's the only one suffering for it. I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying she didn't do anything wrong. But what I'm saying is we are seeing one side of this thing just kind of blow up all over the place, and, so many people take it as something funny, and I guess I get that, but at the same time, there is something wrong here. This is a family that is breaking apart, whether, it was paid for. And publicity, I can't say. Nobody really can, because we don't have those receipts. But what we do know is there was a child that was brought into this that did not ask to be, and is kind of being used as a weapon against one another. And I mean, it's regardless of what is actually happening, I think we're seeing abuse on both sides. We're seeing him kind of lash out and take this out on her. And you know, from what he has leaked, we are seeing her kind of mess with his mentality. So I think people need to realize that this is an abuse on both sides, on both situations here, and not just her cheating on him. I think he said he actually didn't cheat on her, but her cheating on him lashing out. You know, it's a crazy thing, and he's going on about how he spent all this money. He spent all this money. Did he really have an expectation of loyalty or love after that? Who can say? But guys, if you choose to spend your money, you choose to spend your money. Now, I'm not saying it's right for a woman to cheat on a man or anything like that. Y'all know how I feel about relationships. You know how I feel about all this. But at the end of the day, this is a decision that he made, and he's now blasting her for. And, you know, she's coming out and sending him videos of her making out with another man, and it's messing with his mentality and her mentality. Like, neither side is good, and I think that's what I really want people to see. Now, going off of that, we also had a leak for the younger generations of Madison Beer and Jack Galinsky, I believe his name is. And, you know, we kind of had snippets of stuff going on where he was pretty much verbally abusing her by calling her a slut and calling her names. And, you know, we had people go off on that. And I've listened to the audio. You know, of course, no one likes to hear somebody else talking to somebody like that. But the audio that we heard, you know, it just feels like there's something missing. And, you know, I kind of feel like we got her side of the story and he owned up to it. And I'm not saying it is okay what he did. What I am saying is, especially this younger generation, we're seeing so much stuff exposed on social media, and it needs to stop. If you have personal business, handle your personal business with your personal business. I'm not going to lie. People like me who are absolute, you know, who are nobody. We're not celebrities. We're not anybody. Of course we like seeing the drama. Of course we like reading about the drama, but that doesn't mean we actually need to be involved. That doesn't mean that our opinions actually matter. And as I'm making this video, I am well aware of the fact that my opinions probably do not matter. But at the same time, I would much rather see these people get help rather than just continue to blast each other on social media. You know, I want to see somebody take the high road. I think acknowledging it is, and a lot of people were like, oh, well, he wouldn't be saying anything if it wasn't exposed. He shouldn't have to, because this is really none of our business to begin with. Just because he is a public figure does not mean that we have a right to get involved in his life. Same thing with her. I saw so many people calling her a slut and all of this, and why? She is a gorgeous woman. You know, why are you calling her a slut? Because she's been linked to several guys. We don't know for sure anything happened. And even if it did, she's, you know, let her do her. If she's cheating on them, let them deal with that. Same thing with Blac Chyna. She's cheating on Rob. Rob should have dealt with that himself personally, not leaking it all over to social media. And I'm not saying it's not wrong what they're doing. What I'm saying is it's their life. And I'm seeing a lot of people make comments that are holier than thou. You know, they're saying, oh, Jack Galinsky is verbally abusing Madison Beer. And then they're calling him a bitch and telling him to die and that he's a snake and all of this. And they're saying the same shit about Blac Chyna. She's a slut. She's a whore. She's a gold digger. Y'all are doing the same thing that you're criticizing somebody else for. And what's that about? Like, in reality, these people have so much mental healing to do. It's really none of our business. And of course, you know, people are going to get involved. I'm not saying they're not. But at the same time, can we please just have this common decency to realize that you can't condemn somebody for doing something that you are doing? I mean, it's not right. I can't form an honest opinion of saying, oh, I'm on so-and-so's side, because guess what? I've called people a bitch before too. I've called a girl a slut before too. I've been called a bitch. I've been called a slut. I've been called, you know, all these foul names. It is something a lot of people go through in life. And, you know, it's just, it's not good. Either way you spin it, either way you go, it's not good. Nobody should do it. Nobody should, but it happens. It does happen. And maybe if we could actually take into consideration people's feelings before we ran off at the mouth or before we posted stuff on social media, maybe then the world could be a better place and we could actually have people healing rather than causing this trauma to a daughter who is going to see it later, to friends who are going to see it later, other, lovers, future relationships that are going to see all of this later. Why?